If you're wondering which TVS for Xbox Series X are worth your money, stick around. After we run through each product, I'll give you my personal take. Would I buy it or would I skip it? No fluff, just my honest opinion. Let's get into it. Hisense U7N. Listen, this thing is a budget beast that punches way above its weight class. The mini LED display delivers smooth gameplay at 144 Hz with variable refresh rate support, and gaming performance is surprisingly good with crisp graphics and clear motion. The only real bummer is you only get two HDMI 2.1 ports, so you'll have to choose which console gets the royal treatment if you're rocking multiple gaming setups. Would I buy it? Yes, it's basically stealing at this price point for what you get. Samsung S90D. This bad boy is like the overachiever in class who's good at everything. It's rocking 4 HDMI 2.1 ports that can handle 4K at 144 Hz, has incredibly low input lag, and the gaming menu is actually useful instead of being bloatware. The colors pop like crazy, and the depth in games almost makes it look 3D, though Samsung still refuses to support Dolby Vision because they're stubborn like that. Would I buy it? Yes. It's basically the perfect gaming TV if you don't mind missing out on Dolby Vision. Sony A95L. Okay, this TV is absolutely incredible for gaming with its near-instant response time and crystal clear motion, but Sony really dropped the ball with the HDMI situation. You only get two HDMI 2.1 ports, and one of them is shared with EARC. So if you've got both an Xbox Series X and PS5, one of them is getting the short end of the stick. The picture quality is mind-blowing though, with perfect blacks and some of the brightest highlights I've seen. Would I buy it? Maybe, if you can live with the HDMI limitation and don't mind selling a kidney to afford it. Sony Bravia 9. This mini LED monster brings some serious brightness to the party and handles gaming like a champ with 4K 120Hz support and variable refresh rate. The contrast is so good it almost looks like an OLED, but just like its A95L sibling, Sony cheaped out and only gave us two HDMI 2.1 ports with one doubling as EARC. The processing is fantastic though, making even older games look crisp and clean. Would I buy it? Maybe. It's an amazing TV if you can deal with the HDMI port situation and don't need to hook up multiple gaming consoles. LGC4. Man, this TV is a beast for gaming. 4 HDMI 2.1 ports supporting 4K at 120 Hz, variable refresh rate, and even Dolby Vision gaming for that sweet Xbox Series X experience. The picture quality is insane with perfect blacks and bright highlights hitting over 1000 nits, though it does get a bit dimmer in game optimizer mode, which is kind of annoying. I gotta say though, having cloud gaming built in with GeForce Now and other services right on the home screen is pretty damn convenient. Would I buy it? Yes, it's expensive but worth every penny for that perfect gaming experience. LG G4. This bad boy takes everything great about the C4 and cranks it up to 11 with even better brightness and picture quality thanks to that fancy MLA OLED panel. Playing games like Need for Speed looks absolutely mind-blowing on this thing, and it keeps the same killer gaming features including 4K at 144 Hz for PC gaming. The only real downside, you'll need to sell a kidney to afford it, and seriously, who needs a TV that's this extra when the C4 exists? Would I buy it? No, the C4 gives you 90% of the experience for a lot less cash. LG B4. Now we're talking. This is basically the C4's younger brother that went to public school instead of private. You still get all 4 HDMI 2.1 ports with 4K at 120 Hz support and the same gaming features that make the Series X sing, but it's not quite as bright as its fancy siblings. The processor isn't as beefy either, so you might notice some softer images with lower quality content, but damn if this isn't the best value in the OLED game right now. Would I buy it? Yes. It's the sweet spot between performance and price that won't make your wallet cry. Hisense U6. Listen, if you're on a tight budget, this TV isn't half bad. It's got decent gaming features and even supports variable refresh rate. But let's be real, you're stuck at 60 Hz refresh rate, and the brightness is just okay at 525 nits. The picture quality is surprisingly good for the price with that mini LED backlight, but trying to play horror games on this thing, good luck seeing anything in those dark scenes. Would I buy it? Maybe. If you're broke but still want something decent for gaming, this will do the job without completely embarrassing itself. Samsung QM7D. Listen up gamers, this thing is an absolute beast with 4 HDMI 2.1 ports supporting 144 Hz and incredibly low 9.7 millisecond input lag. No more blaming the TV when you lose. The brightness is insane at over 2000 nits peak, making HDR games look spectacular. Though your electricity bill might hate you for it, the gaming features are comprehensive with variable refresh rate and auto low latency mode, plus a fancy game bar that lets you tweak settings on the fly. But damn, Samsung really wants you to pay premium prices for this premium experience. Would I buy it? Yes, because having 4 HDMI 2.1 ports means I can connect all my gaming stuff without playing musical chairs with cables. Sony X90L. This TV handles gaming like a champ with 4K at 120 Hz support and some neat PlayStation 5 specific features like auto HDR tone mapping, but there's a catch. You only get 2 HDMI 2.1 ports. The motion handling is fantastic with minimal blur, which is great for fast-paced games, although the 18.1 millisecond input lag might make competitive gamers a bit twitchy. The picture quality is stellar with deep blacks and bright highlights, but you'll need to sit directly in front of it because the viewing angle is about as narrow as my patience for battle royale games. Would I buy it? Maybe. The PlayStation 5 optimization is sweet, but those 2 HDMI 2.1 ports feel like a bottleneck. TCL C845K. This budget-friendly beast comes with gaming features that'll make your wallet smile. We're talking 4K at 120 Hz, variable refresh rate, and even Dolby Vision gaming support at high refresh rates. The input lag is pretty solid at 15.3 milliseconds, and it can handle 144 Hz PC gaming if you're feeling fancy, though some people might notice slight motion blur in intense gaming sessions. The local dimming is impressive for the price, making HDR games pop, but the operating system can be as buggy as a day one game release. Would I buy it? Yes, it offers flagship gaming features at a mid-range price, and I'm all about that value proposition. TCL QM7. This TV is like finding a high-end gaming monitor in a mid-range TV's clothing. It supports 4K at 144 Hz, has incredibly low input lag, and handles motion like a pro. The gaming experience is nearly as smooth as my excuses when I lose online matches, with excellent HDR brightness and contrast that make games look stunning. The only real downside is that the response time gets weird around 65 Hz when using variable refresh rate, which might bug you if you're sensitive to that sort of thing. Would I buy it? Yes, it's basically a giant gaming monitor disguised as a TV, and the price to performance ratio is ridiculous. Samsung S95D. Listen, this thing is a gaming beast with 4 HDMI 2.1 ports supporting 144 Hz refresh rate and a ridiculously low input lag of 8.9 milliseconds. Yeah, I measured that myself and damn near dropped my controller when I saw how responsive it was. The new AI auto game mode adjusts settings automatically based on what you're playing, which is neat, but I gotta say the matte coating makes games look a bit washed out in bright rooms. Would I buy it? Yes. The gaming features and that sweet QD OLED panel make this my top pick for the Series X. LG G3. This bad boy comes with all 4 HDMI ports supporting 4K at 120 Hz, plus it's got both FreeSync and G-Sync. Talk about playing the field. The game optimizer mode barely affects picture quality, and that 9.2 milliseconds input lag in boost mode is making my thumbs tingle just thinking about it, though it does get a bit dimmer in game mode. Would I buy it? Maybe. It's an incredible gaming TV, but that price tag makes my wallet cry itself to sleep at night. Sony X93L. Alright, this mini LED monster has some serious processing power that makes your Series X games look crisp as hell, and that auto HDR tone mapping feature actually does something useful by making dark scenes visible without washing everything out. The downside? Only 2 HDMI 2.1 ports. Come on, Sony, it's 2025. What am I supposed to do with my other gaming consoles? Would I buy it? No, great TV, but those limited HDMI 2.1 ports are a deal breaker for serious gamers. Sony A75L, props to Sony for making an OLED that doesn't cost a kidney, and it still packs those sweet gaming features like 4K at 120 Hz and variable refresh rate. The response time is lightning quick and the picture quality is fantastic, but just like its bigger brother, you're stuck with only 2 HDMI 2.1 ports. Would I buy it? Maybe, if you're on a budget and don't mind juggling HDMI cables between consoles. Samsung S95C. This TV is a gaming powerhouse with 4 HDMI 2.1 ports and a 144Hz refresh rate that will make your Xbox Series X games look smoother than your X's pickup lines. The picture quality is insanely good with deep blacks and bright highlights, plus it's got variable refresh rate support that'll keep your games tear-free. Though Samsung decided to skip Dolby Vision support because apparently they're too cool for that. The gaming features are pretty sick, with different latency modes for different game types and even a built-in crosshair for when you suck at aiming. Would I buy it? Yes, it's expensive as hell, but worth every penny for serious gaming. Sony Bravia 7. The gaming performance on this bad boy is actually impressive with just 9.2 milliseconds of input lag at 4K 120Hz, making it snappy enough for most gamers who aren't trying to go pro. While it's got some killer HDR brightness hitting over 1600 nits and fantastic color accuracy, the viewing angle is pretty disappointing, so don't invite your friends over for gaming sessions unless they enjoy watching a washed out screen from the side. It's got variable refresh rate support in 4K 120Hz gaming, but only on 2 HDMI ports because apparently Sony thinks we don't have more than 2 gaming devices. Would I buy it? Maybe. Great picture quality, but that viewing angle situation is kind of a deal breaker for group gaming sessions. Samsung DU7200. Look, this TV is like that friend who tries their best but just can't keep up. It's got decent picture quality and very good response time, but it's missing pretty much every modern gaming feature you'd want for your Xbox Series X. The input lag is surprisingly low, which is nice, but it's limited to 4K 60Hz and doesn't have HDMI 2.1 or variable refresh rate support, so your Series X is basically being held back like a sports car stuck in traffic. Would I buy it? No, it's cheap, but there's better options for gaming that won't bottleneck your Xbox. Samsung Q60D. This TV is the definition of May for gaming. It's got incredibly low input lag, which is cool, but then it hits you with a slow response time that makes fast motion look like a blur fest. The brightness is decent enough for casual gaming, but don't expect any HDR magic to happen here, and just like its cheaper cousin, it's stuck at 4K 60Hz with no variable refresh rate support worth mentioning. Would I buy it? No, save your money for something that won't make your Xbox Series X feel like it's running on old hardware. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you pick the TVS for Xbox Series X for you. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. Links to all of these products mentioned in this video will be in the description.